it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a base speed education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form. If you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualised Academy, and the author of this great, big, beautiful book called Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia, Have Less Pain, More Energy and Feel Happier Like a Superhero Rock Star. And yes, I'm an asexual person who happens to have fibromyalgia, but fibromyalgia has nothing to do with asexuality, just in case you were wondering. Fibromyalgia is a chronic pain condition that affects the nerves and muscles of the body. I manage it really super well, and this is basically the book of how I do that. So on tonight's episode, I want to talk to you about coronavirus, how to prepare and stay balanced in the now. So today, I have to tell you, I'm not feeling very well. I've got a lot of abdominal pain at the moment. I had pelvic pain before I took my meds last night. Well, we're going through, last night because it was in the middle of the night. So I took that. I started to feel much better, and now I seem to have really a lot of tummy discomfort as well as a bit of pelvic pain back again. So my tummy's really hurting tonight. So I don't know if I've got an underlying problem, but I went out today to prepare in case I get the coronavirus. So I dawned on me that I basically didn't have enough food in the house, substantial food, should I say, to last 2 whole weeks if I was to get the coronavirus. Right? I don't want it, right? But it's best to be prepared for these things because there's less to worry about, right? The more you're prepared for something, the more you're prepared for it, it'll be less shocking to you, won't it? Do you know what I mean? And it lowers your anxiety, right? So, I have got some like tuna and rice, but you know, that wouldn't really be good just to have that all the time. You know, you need vegetables. It's very important to have green vegetables as much as possible. You need fruit and all that type of thing. You know, you need to keep your strength up when you're poorly in order to recover, recuperate, survive and thrive, right? So it suddenly dawned on me because I don't usually have any frozen vegetables anymore. I don't have frozen veg. I haven't had any in my freezer. I've got two, one a fridge freezer and one a little chest freezer. It's like a tabletop freezer, goes under my sink unit, right? And I hadn't had any frozen foods in there for a long time. Like, I don't even remember the last time I bought frozen food. I don't tend to use it anymore. I even put my pan away last year, my pan I bought vegetable in, because I don't use a pan. I even thought about selling it, but I thought, no, just in case I have some visitors and they want to use it and cook for themselves. And it's a good job I didn't sell it now, because I realised that I need frozen vegetables and some frozen food, because fresh food only lasts about 5 days. And with the coronavirus, if you're diagnosed with it, you usually have to self-isolate, from what I understand, for 14 days. I think it's 7 days if you suspect you've got it, 14 days if you're officially diagnosed with it. But don't hold me to that. You know, always look at the NHS and World Health Organization guidelines, you know, for the latest updates and what they say. And some people have to self-isolate for longer. And considering I've had 3 respiratory infections since October, and 2 of those took me 2 weeks to get over, it's highly likely that if I do get the virus, I'll need at least 2 weeks, 14 days to recover, which means that I hadn't got enough food really in the house. So today I went out, well, yesterday now, because I'm a bit late coming on the stream. I have to apologise, but I have been lying on the bed because my stomach is really hurting me at the moment. Because I'm not well with other things. But you know, in general, I'm fine. Today I decided to go out of vegetables. So I've got literally enough vegetables, and I got some potato wedges and jack potatoes all in the freezer. My little tabletop freezer now is full up of, yes, of course, I went within the guidelines of how many you're allowed to have at the supermarket, right? Because they've got, you're only allowed to have 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 of items over here. But I managed to get peas and mixed vegetables and broccoli fillets. And hi, Sam, nice to see you. Lots of love, my friend. And I managed to get 2 lots of peas, 2 lots of mixed vegetables, 1 lot of broccoli fillets, 3 lots of potato wedges. Now, I might have tried these wedges a long time ago, but if I have, I'm not sure, and these potato wedges look lush. I want to have some now, but I'm like, no, just in case you have to self-isolate, you need to keep them in the freezer, Sandra. But they look so lush because, as far as I can tell, they're gluten-free, wheat-free, yeast-free, but they've got, stuff added to them to really make them taste lovely. And I got these like McCain jacket potatoes, and I've also got enough waters now to last me 2 weeks, mineral waters. So, and I had to get more fruit in tins, because fruit's only going to last, my fresh fruit's only going to last for about 5 days. So I think it's very important to prepare for if you are, if you did get the virus, right? Because if you're a person that lives on their own like me does, and you can't get out, and the only way you can eat or drink is by getting out and going and getting food or drink yourself, and you need to self-isolate, and you don't want to have to make the difficult decision of going out, having the virus, knowing you'll probably infect people, or having to starve. Do you know what I'm saying? Or, not getting your proper nutrients, because the thing is, if you don't get proper food nutrients, if you don't have like vegetables and fruit and stuff like that, then that lowers your immune system anyway. So it makes you more susceptible to having a harder time if you've got the virus. And, it's harder to get better if you don't have a lot of good foods down you. So it's very, very important that you do have food still as much as possible. So today I went out and got that. I've managed to get some frozen fish. I only got 4 of those, so I could do with some more of them, because the fish I tend to get again is fresh. Usually I did get some fish today fresh. I'll probably put a couple of those in the freezer, but the fresh fish, if you freeze it only lasts like till the end of the month usually, whereas frozen fish, the ones I got, they last till the end of the year. So there's a huge difference. But yeah, so I think it's good to prepare for what might come to you. You don't want it, but it's better to be prepared for it and not have to worry about that, because anxiety and stress lowers the immune system. So the last thing you want to be doing is being ill and then worried about food. I'm going to have to get my pan down, because my pan's put away in a plastic container at the moment, because I wasn't thinking I was ever going to use it again. So I need to get my pan down, because if I'm not feeling well at all, then obviously the last thing I want to be doing is climbing up a ladder trying to get a pan out. As it happens at the moment, I'm not feeling very well. My stomach is really hurting me. My arm's even coming out a rash. I don't know if you can see that. I was doing that earlier, and I don't know if that is because of the meds that I had to take for my pelvis or what, but it's not really good. But I mean, I'm so allergic to things, it doesn't really surprise me. But yeah, so yes, I think it's better to prepare for the worst case scenario that you could possibly prepare for. Obviously, if you get that bad, you might have to go to hospital. And it's also good to get balance in the now. So I've got enough frozen vegetables and potatoes, still could do with getting some more frozen fish, and enough waters currently for 14 days, right? So I've prepared for the possible future. And then now I've got to stay in the now and be balanced. So that means I still have to buy food for this week as much as possible. Do you know what I mean? I still have to pay for food right now, because if I use my reserves that I've reserved for 2 weeks, if I dip into them, then I'm not going to have the amount of food there I need, and drink, water, if I should take a turn for the worst. Do you see what I'm saying? So you've got to stay balanced in the now. So you still got to buy food and drink for yourself now. And obviously that is hard with the supermarkets being stripped bare, which is why you're going to have to go in to different supermarkets usually and pick, like, because I live in Exeter and I do actually walk a lot, and so I have to go and get like 2 or 3 items from one place, 2 or 3 items from another, to make up the amount that I actually need for a few days, and some things like toilet rolls, they're very hard to come by. I've already currently got them at the moment, but the other day, it wasn't until the full shop I went and got some. So you have to kind of get them if you see them, and the ones I saw today were like £5 a pack for just 9. That's quite a lot, because prices are going up at some items. I noticed in some supermarkets, they're putting the price up to like put it down again, but it's still more expensive than in the first place. So you'll be careful of that. But obviously, you know, I guess supermarkets have got extra costs with getting more staff in to fill shelves. I think they're doing that and stuff like that lately. So I think it's going to happen. But you know, so I think it's better to prepare for the worst case scenario that you can manage, and also to be balanced in the here and now, and to, you know, we know there's chaos going on in the world, but it's very important that you try and balance yourself as best as possible to be as unchaotic as possible in your internal environment. At the moment, it's difficult for me because I am ill. I've got a pelvic problem, which I took the meds for. A lot of the pain went down, but it can take up to 3 days to get better anyway. A lot of the pain went down, but I've been on the go nearly all day. I had to get my friend's birthday present to the post office. That's 1:20. And after I did that, I didn't get home till much later, and then I had to go out again because I wanted to make sure I got all this food in. So I think I was out till about, in total, to about 6 or 7 or something. No, I think I might have been later. It might have been 8 even. Yeah, it's really late. I think I came home, dropped a load of stuff off, and then went and got some other stuff. So yeah, it's been a really long day, and I think gradually as time's gone on, my pain's just got worse. But instead of it just being in my pelvis now, I've got it loads in my abdomen, which I didn't have before, and my stomach's like gurgling all the time, which isn't a good sign. And so that is a bit concerning. I seem to have got little white bits back on my tonsils. My temperature seems to be higher than it was before, and my body's colder, but I was outside with no coat on for ages today, which probably is giving me a chill or cold, likely, possibly, because, you know, I was sunny, but it was windy, and I was sat. My mum says it sounds like it's windy there, you know. I said, yeah, if I'm going to get ill, it'll probably be a cold from here. So, but yeah, I noticed my head's quite hot tonight, and my stomach's really hurting me. So, but it is possible I've got some other type of problem with that type of area. But I won't know until 3 days gone by. But yeah, I keep getting this rash, but it could be because of medication that I took last night. It could be that the fact that medication is making me, you know, like have rashes, because I think that's one of the side effects as well. So I won't know, but I know I'm not feeling very well at the moment, so I'm not going to stay on this stream very long because I need to lie down and rest. So I have done, since I've been home, I have done some more of the Asexual Guide to Sex book. Sam, I hope you're feeling better soon. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. My stomach is like crunching like this. It's going, Make sure you rest. I will be in a minute. I mean, I did work on some of the Asexual Guide to Sex with my latest interviewee that I'm talking to. So we made a bit of progress on that. And then I said to them that I'm going to have to lie down. But I mean, their story's nearly finished now. I sent off the final version of it as it is now to see what last amendments they want to make. So it's nearly finished now. So that'll be absolutely excellent to get another one finished, even though I'm not well. But it makes it difficult because obviously I've had 3 respiratory infections this year. The last one I only really got over before I saw Sam on the 14th of this month. And then, you know, now I've got this pelvic problem. But I do think, considering the current state of the world and what other people have, I think this is kind of mild. Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of used to pain anyway, but it does hurt. So, you know, I do need to get some rest and lie on the bed, you know, because sitting at the Mac is not very good for it. I was sat on the Mac earlier doing some work on the Asexual Guide to Sex book, and that's when I saw, that's when I felt the tummy pain get worse and worse. I only have to lie flat on the bed because it helps. So I don't know if the issue with my pelvis is another problem with my tummy area as well, because the doctor was asking me questions because there's a possible 2 types of problem I've got in that area. So it could be that I've got both of the problems rather than just one of them, in which case I have to go to the doctors and get a test done, I think. So yeah, but I'll have to wait for 3 days anyway for the whole thing to take effect of the pelvis thing. I've still got some treatment to go on that anyway. So yeah, so you know, I think it's very good to plan for the future, plan for eventualities, because then you can have more peace of mind and be calmer in your mind, and also get balance in your life as well, you know, with the food you're eating and drinking now, because make sure, you know, you're not dipping into your reserves if you can help it, unless of course you get ill like I'm ill at the moment. So for a few days I'm not going to be able to get out, you know, it's going to be difficult to maybe not get in those reserves. I mean, I think I've got enough food for at least 4 or 5 days probably, as it is now. So vegetable wise, I haven't got that much compared to other stuff. So fresh vegetables I'm talking about. So yeah, so and I was absolutely disgusted today, I have to say. I was in the city centre going to the toilet, and this woman never washed her hands. I mean, obviously that's bad most of the time. Well, all the time, in my opinion. It's bad, like usually. That's what I'm trying to say. But the fact that the coronavirus is spreading worldwide and people like her just come out with their shopping trolley and literally don't wash their hands, go straight from the toilet cubicle, public toilet cubicle, and just hold the handle and open the door. Because obviously, doesn't matter how much you wash your hands, if you're going and opening that door and someone hasn't washed their hands that's opened that door because they've left the toilet, a whole public toilet place, then you're going to get germs back on your hands. So I had to use my sleeve of my top. And so I've put the top, I've turned it inside out to wash. I've got loads of washing because I'm washing more clothes lately. I see guys that do that all the time. Even in the current situation, I've seen it. It's disgusting. Do you know what I mean? It's vile. I do not understand people like that. I'm like, how can you do that? There's people who have poo and wee all over their hands. And God knows what other things they've got. They might even have infections. And they're putting it all over the toilet handle, and then people are just going and putting that all over everywhere. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know how people can do it. It's hideous. How can people do that to themselves? But I have even seen someone I know who's worked in catering before, and they've come out the toilet and not washed their hands. And I'm thinking, you got a food hygiene certificate. All right, you're not working at the moment at this precise minute, but still, it's not very good. You should be washing your hands. You know what I mean? That was not now. That's not this year, but you know what I mean. I just think it's disgusting. I understand, you know. But it's very important to stay balanced within yourself. You know, try and give yourself as much peace of mind as possible. My mum's got a sore throat at the moment. Her voice is really croaky, so I'm not seeing her for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to Mum now because it's Sunday, so I'm going to ring her up. But her voice is really croaky, so I've told her to gargle with salt water, and I need to go and gargle with salt water again because I've got a little bits of white bits back on my tonsils again. They're not like they were before. It's not huge bits. It's just little bits. But your tonsils are designed to stop infection. So the little white bits are like the infected bits, and the tonsils will stopped it going down your throat. But what happens is when that goes down your throat, it then goes into your respiratory infection or chest. It again goes to your respiratory place or chest, and then you end up getting a respiratory infection or chest infection. This is what happens. All those bacteria go down your throat into the rest of your body, and it causes respiratory or chest infection usually. So I've got to be very careful that I don't get anything back again, seeing as I've already had 3. And I do have a weak chest. I used to get chest infections all the time rather than respiratory infections. I had one respiratory infection I had to take time off work for, off an employed job for. But you used to be prone to chest infection and get them every year. But it seems like it's respiratory going that way now. But I guess if I'm used to dealing with respiratory infections and getting over them, then if I do get the virus, heaven forbid I don't want that, but if I do, I should be able to get over it because I've kind of used to getting over things. But obviously that one can be a lot worse than other ones. So, you know, I just like rashes all the time at the moment. It's annoying. But yeah, so if you ever don't see me on one of these streams, it's because I'm not very well, but I hope to try and do them as much as possible because I think it's good to have contact, you know. But if I am really, really in pain, I have to miss a night. Sam, I have asthma, so I have to be careful. It's not as bad as it used to be, thankfully. Yeah, I wasn't totally aware that you had that. I don't know if you mentioned it to me before, but I know recently you've mentioned it. And I thought that's really not good. But we mustn't dwell on things, you know. We mustn't dwell on these things because the problem is when we dwell on things like, oh, this, that, and the other that we've got wrong with us or had wrong with us and we could get it again, it just makes our mind think that we're likely to get it again. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, even with me, I'm thinking, well, you've had 3 respiratory infections. Do you know what I mean? It's like the chances of you getting it, another one, is a bit more possible than other people, but it doesn't mean to say that I'm going to get it. But I do know at the moment I've got a lot of pain in my stomach. So, Yeah, I'm hoping that it just settles down. I don't know what it is. Might just be a digestive issue or something. I think I might have to have some more digestive enzymes because I have to take them anyway, but usually I don't have to have more. But if I have got a problem like this, sometimes I take extra ones. But I haven't ate anything unusual, so it's weird. It's very weird. But obviously I've been out today in the city, so but I was very careful not to eat anything, put things in my mouth when I touched anything, you know? Because that's what you have to do. Be very, very careful. You don't want to be touching things and then eating food. Do you know what I mean? So I made sure I didn't have any food like that I was eating. Um, and touching things. Sam, I was born with it and it was very bad, but I'm just focusing on my projects and trying not to worry about it all. That's good, Sam. It's for the best. Yeah, it's definitely for the best. We all must focus on good, positive things and that we can conquer anything and get through anything. One of my friends, good friends who watches this channel. Hello, if you're watching, you know who you are. She asked me what the spiritual meaning of the world situation was, and I said, what did I say? I said it's to believe in yourself. And what did I say? I can't remember exactly what I said. I got it on my iPad. I may as well read that little bit. I'm not going to read the whole conversation, obviously, because they're a friend and it's personal stuff. But I just wanted to read that little bit because they asked me and I thought I'd just read that answer out. Oh yeah, they asked me, what do you think is the spiritual reason of this? And I said, of my virus or my thought patterns? Because I have, I was talking about the fact I have had some negative thought patterns, but now I'm like back on track. Fighter, thriver. And they said of the virus, and I said, you have to believe in yourself, in the power of your mind, and in holistic healing. That's honestly what I think it's about. And because I do believe everything happens for a reason. I really do. I really do. There's lots of lessons we can learn by this. Do you know what I mean? It's very interesting, isn't it, what's happening at the moment? Very interesting. It's almost like it is like being in a sci-fi movie. Like when I went out today, it was so weird. They've got tannoy announcements going on in the supermarkets, right? And the tannoy announcement is a similar type of voice to the tubes in London. And it was saying, during this difficult time, stocks are limited, so we're limiting, items like 2 or 3. It depends, what they say. Some supermarkets are 2, some are 3, some are 4. And you've got this going on, and it's just like really weird. Honestly, it's just like something out of Apocalypse film or something. It's very bizarre. It literally is like one of those futuristic films we're in at the moment. Only it's really happening. Do you know what I mean? It's not a fiction, it's a fact. So it's very, very bizarre. However, we can to a certain extent control our own reality, which means we need to like cut off from the outside world as much as possible, whilst preparing for the worst, whilst balancing our life as it is now and remaining as unchaotic inside as possible. Your internal, it's a battle between the external and the internal, The external is going completely haywire at the moment. We have to remain calm among all the chaos. It's been difficult for me more recently because I've seen people in my asexual groups either got the virus, think they might have it, or they know someone who's got it, So I've had more cases of it, of people I've known or know of. Do you know what I mean? I still haven't met anyone. Well, I wouldn't meet anyone, would I, in person that's got it because they're going to be self-isolating, but I haven't met anyone that I know in person that's self-isolating. I don't really want to. I don't want that situation to happen. But, I think that's what brings it home a bit. But we must just remain calm and not worry and not fester. We must do things that make us joy. Like last night I was laughing at a movie, I was just laughing and smiling. My body was so relaxed and happy, and your body changes its state. When you're in a relaxed, happy mood, your body changes. It just does, I've had quite a stressful day in the fact that I've been going out shopping loads and it's been a lot on my body. I mean, I don't think it helps. I'm literally moving a lot of litres of water up my stairs in a shopping trolley to make sure I have enough water for 2 weeks. Because I have to drink 2 litres of water a day, at least, which is what people should be drinking anyway. If you didn't already know that, that's a minimum standard NHS you can look at, you know. And I have to have that anyway. I'm directed by the hospital. So, you know, that's a lot of litres of water for 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? That's like 28 litres of water I need to have. I already had like half of that, so I need to get the others today. But when I'm got a shopping trolley, I'm lifting up the stairs to come into my flat. That doesn't help my tummy. It might be straining my tummy, you see. So my tummy could just be a problem like that, but it's gurgling. So I think I need digestive enzymes thing. I have to take them because it shouldn't be gurgling. It's not. It only gurgles if I've got ate something that I shouldn't usually eat. It's weird. So I don't know why it's doing that. And I don't know why it's got so much pain, but you know, yeah, you know, we just have to balance out our life now and make sure we're getting enough foods now, not just preparing for any future event, but we have to prepare for the future as well. So I've set food aside now for 2 weeks. What I've done is I've got my diary. I'll just show you. I've got my diary. It's a good idea to do this. And I've literally written out a list of the things like I bought today. I know it's scribbly, so you can't read it, but it's only meant to be for me. I've put my date on now, and I've literally put the items I've bought and whereabouts they are, because I've had to spread some around. I can't fit everything in certain places. And I've put basically where I got them from, what the product is, and what the use by date is, so that I know that I've got food in for X amount of time. Because obviously I don't usually have frozen food, so I might leave it in there if I hopefully don't get the virus, and I might not use it because I won't use it unless I need to. But there'll come a time when I need to because it expires. So I managed to get frozen mackerel, which I didn't know my local supermarket did. I was quite shocked. I'm like, oh, this is cheaper than actually getting it fresh. But yeah, so I did get 4. I've only got 4 of those, so I need more of them really. I got 4 frozen mackerel. Their date is 20th of the 12th, 2020. So that date is this year, which isn't that long. But I got garden peas, which go up to September 2021. Farmhouse mixed vegetables 2021. I got McCain's jacket potatoes 3rd 2021. 3rd of February for potato wedges as well, 2022 they are. And broccoli florets are 2022. I got kitchen roll, foil, greaseproof paper. I got pineapples. I got some the other day, and then I got the rest today. So I've got 14 of them in total now. But I haven't got them all at once. I've had to get them different days. So, I've written dates down. So I think it's a very good idea to write down, like do a stock take, an audit of what you've got for in case you do get the virus, So you need to make sure you've got at least like 14 days supply of everything you'll need. And then, make sure you know where they are, put them where they are, and the dates, because it's so important, because, hopefully we won't get it. Hopefully we won't get it, in which case the food's going to stay in the cupboards, isn't it? Well, with me, I don't eat frozen food usually. So I'm only going to be usually going into there if I need to. But obviously there'll come a time when this period's over, where everything will go back to maybe not completely normal, but it will, it will calm down and things will go back to a different normal as possible. Right. So then I can, eat that food then. This food could prepare me for another thing that's going to happen that I don't know about. So, it's really good to take an audit of your food for your 2 weeks, like 14 days. If it's possible, it's possible for anyone to get the virus, right? So it's really important that you prepare for it and do an audit. Make sure you've got enough food and drink. Think about what you eat on a daily basis. Like, have you got enough cereal? Have you got enough UHT milk? Have you got enough, or if you don't have cereal because maybe they're out of cereal, have you got some health bars? You could hear it, a health bar for breakfast. Or would it mean you need extra fish? Maybe you can get some tinned fish and eat that for breakfast. You might have to do something different. But have you got enough for your meals for each day for 14 days? Obviously, you won't be able to get this from the supermarket all at once. It might mean going out a few times. At the moment, they're saying stand 2 meters away from another person. So when I went out to the city centre today, a lot of the time I was 2 meters away, but not all the time. When you're packed when you're in a supermarket, you're not always 2 meters away from each other. You're walking in an aisle that's not that even wide. Do you know what I mean? You can barely get by. So, but that's the guidelines at the moment. You're trying meant to stay 2 meters away. Like I went in Poundland today, and they are being good. They're putting strips on the floor which are 2 meters apart, so that you're not actually stood right next to someone. Do you know what I mean? Near the till area. So I think that's good. And there's a lot of restaurants that are shut, but there's still quite a few shops open in my city in Exeter at the moment. There's still quite a number of them. So, but some of them are only taking card now, not cash. They're not taking coins. But we don't. Do we even know if the virus is spread by coins or not? I'm not sure. Again, you'd have to check all the guidelines for that. But I just want to tell to try and prepare for the worst, but remain as positive and balanced and out of chaos within yourself as much as possible. Like Sam's doing. Focus on your projects. Focus on other things. Reach out to friends. Make sure they're all right. Make sure you keep in social contact with people, because that's very important for your health and well-being. Make sure that you're not feeling to isolate yourself and other people aren't feeling too isolated. I mean, it was nice of my friend to message me and ask me how I was today, because I haven't heard from her for a little while. So that was really nice of her. I appreciate that. Just be as happy as you can possibly be, because there's no point in being miserable. It's not going to change the situation. Do you know what I mean? It's not. So it's better to be happy in the now and as positive as possible than be miserable and have all this situation going on in the world, because it's not going to change. What's happening is not going to change whether you're happy or sad. Do you see what I mean? It's not going to change it. But you can change what happens to you in terms of your own health and well-being, in terms of de-stressing as much as possible, like having less anxiety and stuff. So being in a better frame of mind and therefore having a higher immunity to things. If your body and mind, if your mind as well as your body is as in good health as possible. Like my body could be in better shape, so I have to keep my mind good. I have to keep my mind good. I have to keep, like, it doesn't matter what happens. I can get through anything. It's fine. I can get. I'm used to getting through illnesses anyway, so it's okay. I can do this. I can do this. It's okay. It'll be fine. This time shall pass. That's what I have to think. This time shall pass. It will not be forever. We will come out of it. Thrivers, survivors. Boop, boop. So keep a positive mindset, because like I said, it's not going to change it, but it could change your internal environment and make a much happier one if you be as happy. And put some movies on, chill out, just do things that make you really, really happy. Like I can't do as much work at the moment because I'm in a lot of pain now, so I was doing the asexual guide to sex, but like I said, the story's nearly finished, so I have done a little bit of work. Just a little bit is useful, but I just need to lie on the bed in a minute and rest, but I might put some more movies on. It just chills me out and makes me feel good, and I need to de-stress, because the whole situation, even if we don't think we're stressed, subconsciously it's going to make us stress, right? And like I said, I've been on the go for hours today. It's not good when I've just been on medication for my pelvic problem. I had a lot of pain, and then I'm out all the time. I should have been resting a bit at home, but I thought it's better to top up with food in case anything does happen to me, because then I'm going to be stuck. That's going to be even worse. So I think it's really important that you keep a positive mindset. You keep the internal environment you've got from being in chaos. So while the world's in chaos, your job is to remain as calm, peaceful, happy, and joyous as you possibly can. Because it's not going to change what's happening in the outside world, but it could have a significant impact on what happens to you. So it's very important you look after yourself. It's not selfish to look after yourself. It's not selfish to be having joy and happiness. We need people in the world that's got joy and happiness. Then you can spread it around, If people are not joy and happiness, they won't be spreading that around, will they? But people are joy and happiness, I'm in pain at the moment, but I'm still happy. I'm alive, aren't I? I'm breathing healthily. I'm sat in my beautiful flat. You've got to be very grateful and thankful for things you got. Sam, I was born with it, and it was very bad. But I'm just oh, sorry. I thought you said something else. I thought I saw the chat moving. Oh my gosh! I think I need some rest. I thought I saw the chat moving. Oh dear. I don't think the medication one makes me hallucinate, so I think I'm all right. Oh dearie me, you have to laugh. It's important to laugh. If you didn't laugh, you'll cry. So it's much better you laugh, people. Much better you laugh. And one good thing as well that I have to say that I was really laugh out loud. No, yeah, exactly, Sam. My eyes are starting to see things. One thing I noticed that was really good that I wanted to share with you is I saw more people that like togetherness from families. So there's this one family in front of me. Well, there's a few families, I think, taking walks together. And one particular family, the son's saying, oh, yeah, but it's better to get out in the fresh air, Dad, rather than being a crowded bus. It's much better to do this. And, you know, it was nice because the son and the dad looked like they were holding hands. And, you know, it's like family going out together. So sometimes like tragedies like this or inconveniences, problems, upset, pain, it can bring out the best in people as well, not just the worst. You know what I mean? So it can actually bring people together. You know, this family seemed one like it, you know, seemed like it didn't go out very much in the fresh air and it was the son saying that to the dad, which I thought was good. The son looked quite, you know, reasonable, probably a teenager actually, but do you know what I mean? So it looked like they're having some family time, they're taking fresh air, having a walk together. And so, you know, this is really important. So, you know, like it's not just social interaction, it's making families social interact with each other more offline and actually be speaking to each other instead of looking at their phones 24/7. At least families be spending more time together. Exactly, Sam. And for some, it might save their family. There might be some children that have been feeling neglected. There might be some parents who've just been so busy with work they haven't paid attention to their children. Maybe they'll learn stuff about their children that they never knew. Maybe some children are in pain, crying inside, having trauma, and their parents haven't even noticed it. And it's, you know, something like this is designed to literally make them realize what's going on in front of their noses. Because this is another thing that this teaches us. It teaches us the blessings we've already got, the things we've got to be thankful for, how lucky we are with modern commodities and social media, how lucky we are when we do have food readily available and stuff, how grateful we should be for the supermarkets are working their butts off day in, day out to feed us, to put stuff on the shelf, because they're always stocking up the shelves, even though it's really empty, a lot of them. They're really working hard, you know? People are pulling together, giving freebies and stuff to some people are, you know, and it's teaching families that about, you know, spending quality time together. It's kind of taking them back a bit. So it's really weird time because you've got the contrast of the social media that we really need at this time and how good social media is. So there's a lot of issues and problems surrounding social media. You know, a lot of people are saying it can make people depressed, it can make people ill, it can be really, really bad. Obviously, there is the cyberbullying and all that lot as well. So there is a negative side to it, but this can show the really positive side of social media, and it can show how families can thrive more as a unit off social media, getting out more together. And I think, you know, something like this, if people take absolutely notice of it properly, it's kind of showing you to get the balance, which is what this video is about, you know, getting the balance between having, you know, really appreciating online communities and, you know, and caring about one another and reaching out to one another, you know, and how far we've come in terms of technology. And it's going back to the traditional days where families had spent more time together and went out together and wasn't working all the time. So you've kind of got this complete contrast mirror image of two different worlds that have come together. I don't know if you've noticed that. See, I always believe things happen for a reason. I look at things in stories. I look at things very visually in films. And I pay attention to what actually the other meaning is. Because the meaning is never usually the meaning we just see. It's the underlying meaning. The meaning that is given spiritually to us, that is given to us intuitively, spiritually. You know, it's never just plain, it's never just as you think it is. There's always a reason for why something happens. I mean, this disaster is bad for a lot of people, but it'll also be very good for certain people in their personal life. Like I said, if a relationship's failing, it might not even be a relationship with their kids. It might be a husband and wife. The relationship is failing. They're thinking about getting divorced. Then all of a sudden this brings them back together, just like you see in a movie, actually. You know, and then they realise, my goodness me, we're actually sat down talking. We haven't had this much communication in months because we've been too busy with our jobs and fiddling with our phones. And now we're having to actually look after each other and support each other and go back to basic fundamentals of a good quality relationship. You know, like actually communicating with each other, asking how the other one's feeling, coming together in the face of adversity. Do you know what I mean? So we should be looking at this is kind of like, it's kind of why there's darkness, there's light. There's always light where there's darkness. You have to remember this. In dark times, there is always light. And in light times, there's darkness as well. So we have to look at the positives of this. There is a lot of positives we can get out of this. Like I said, some relationships might be about to end, whereas some people might be actually meant to be together. And it's a universe's way of bringing them back together, So you have to look at these type of things, these underlying things. It might be that you haven't, it might be that you haven't spent enough time with yourself. You haven't spent enough time indoors. That you've always been busy looking after other people and going around here, there, and everywhere. And it's like saying, right, you have to stop now. You have to spend more time with yourself in your home, doing your own thing, looking after yourself. Because as a society, some people, you could argue, don't really care about anyone but themselves. And otherwise, you can say, well, people care too much and they don't care enough about themselves. But you need a balance. Like I said, you need to be caring about other people, giving to other people. You need to give to yourself as well. If you don't fill your own cup up, what's your life going to be like? And if you're not here and other people rely on you and need you in life and you're not looking after yourself, then how's that going to be? Like if I something happened to me tomorrow, heaven forbid, and I wasn't here anymore, like I need to get my Asexual Guide to Sex book out. Do you know what I mean? It's like I need that before I'm not here anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's essential I get that out because it'll save a lot of asexuals from pain in their life. It'll save them from a lot of heartache, and they'll be able to see possible problems that might crop up. It'll help protect some and hopefully even maybe save some lives, and but just like help people, so I can't not be here because I have to get that book done no matter what. Do you know what I mean? That's my mission. And I don't think the guy upstairs, God, I don't think he wants me gone. I think he's got a lot more in store for me. I haven't even begun really to scratch the surface with what I can do. There's a lot more in store for me. Like I was thinking a bit negatively the other day, I was, and I do have, I haven't really gone back to that place, but I'm having some negative thoughts, and they were more like I had when I was in a depressive state, and I will not let myself get in depression again, ever again. So as soon as I had the thoughts, I had to kind of acknowledge the thoughts because they were coming anyway. And then I had to kind of think, well, what's the opposite of this? Like, and this isn't me. This isn't me. I have to remind myself of who I am because we can lose ourselves. I have to remind myself that I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor, and I've fought and survived through all these tough times in my life, which I'm sure you have watching this as well. I have to remind myself of that. I don't want to have a defeatist attitude. The other attitude is the defeatist attitude. It's more like like I said, bordering, go on to depressive mindset. I won't be depressed ever again. I just won't allow it. I can't allow it. So I will get really ill. I can't allow it. So I had to realize it, and it's subconscious thoughts. It's bad habits and patterns of negative thinking from the past that have come back a little bit. But they came back and, I'm not listening to them. I'm like, thanks for sharing. Nice, but I'm not listening. Well, it's not nice what I thought. But, in one way you could say it's good, but then I'm like, no, it's not good. I'm sugarcoating it as good, but it's not good. Do you know what I mean? It's not good. It's like a defeatist attitude. I'm not having a defeatist. I'm a survivor. I need to be here for you lot. Do you know what I mean? I know there's loads of other asexuals in the world and there's loads of other activists, but, I still have a community here, don't I? I still have people who do watch this channel. I have still people that like my videos that helps them. I have to get this Asexual Guide to Sex book out as category. If anything happened to me tomorrow, that's what I would wish that I was out more than anything is the book. Because I know it can change people's lives. It can change the whole course of history if people really take the book seriously and watch it and read it, and a lot of people get their hands on it. That's what I would say. Definitely tell all your sexual friends as well about it. Because they can see asexuality is real. No more will we, if they look at this book and they take it in, no more are we going to be mocked and stuff. It's just ridiculous. People saying asexuality isn't real, absolutely ridiculous. Categorically, it does, and that book proves it. And I'm just so excited. I love writing books. It's my life purpose. And if everything in the world goes to chaos, I can still write. That's the beauty of my passion. That's the beauty of my life purpose. It can't ever die unless I die, and it won't die if I die because it'll live on in my books. They'll always be around my books. The ones that are in library, particularly, British Library, they'll always be around. Do you know what I mean? And so I'll always be here. Even if I'm gone, I'll always be here. I'll come back again anyway. I thought to myself, Sandra, if anything happened to you, you don't be reincarnated again and come back. So what's the frigging point? You may as well stay in this life anyway. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, back again, fighting spirit. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, there's no point. What's the point? You've got too much to do in this life. Thank you very much. So do you know what I mean? I've talked to myself. I've talked to myself and him upstairs. And yeah, we had the words, didn't we? And this is what we came up with. We're like, no, it's not your time to go yet. You've got a load of life purposes to fulfill. You're resilient, you're strong in the face of adversity, Sandra. That's who you are. So that's who I need to continue to be. But I mean, obviously, it does make you think about stuff. Clearly it's made me think about stuff. But, I just have to remind myself of who I am. And I think times like this, it really does show your strength of character and remind yourself of who you really are. It reminds me of who I really am. I'm a fighter, I'm a survivor, I'm a thriver. I don't give up. If I give up, what's the point? It's not going to get me anywhere. It's not going to help you, is it? If I'm not around, who's going to help? I know there's loads of other people, but I do. Everyone's got their own tribe. Everyone's got their own vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like, people in different communities take well to different people. There'll be certain activists that you'll love, and you might not love me or like me. But there's certain people that like and love me that won't like other activists because we each have our own personalities. Do you know what I mean? And some people's personalities resonate more with other people. So I think there's a place for every asexual activist. And the more activists we have, the better. There's always a place for everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a big, like there can't be one or the other. They can be all of the activists, together. I don't even really call myself an activist. I call myself an ambassador for asexuality, really. And yeah, it's good that families are spending more time together. It's all about strength of character, resilience, being determined to succeed in life no matter what, living your purpose. When you've got a purpose to live for, it makes a hell of a lot of difference. Like Sam's got that, a space era. I mean, you've got to be around because you're my best friend, so I wouldn't have it any other way. You're my best friend, so you've got to be around because I love you to bits as my best friend. And, space era. And obviously you've got Andy, who loves you as well as a friend, and loads more people. They're all your family. But space era give you a lot of purpose, and you're like, my God, I still got to get this finished. And it does give you purpose. Like my mum looks after my guinea pig Angel, and she has animals to look after. Thank you. I plan on living forever. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, my mum has animals and they help her a lot. My mum's like, oh, well, nothing can happen to me. I'm too busy looking after Angel, which is my guinea pig. She needs me to inject her. So, do you know what I mean? So, but my mum is a high risk category. She's got kidney problems and diabetes, and she nearly died in 2010. And she's had pneumonia in the past. So, but she'll be okay. I believe her. She'll be fine. But her immune system's lower as well. So my dad went out and did the shopping for her. I would say today, it was yesterday now. So yeah. So it's really important, that you take stock of your life now and just think everything happens for a reason. So not everything is bad in the world. Like Sam confirms, there are families spending more time together. There are people that probably haven't talked much in years that'll probably end up talking more because of this. And you can kind of see the world's kind of reflecting the relationship breakdown of people. If you think about it, if you think about the world in chaos, what is that representing? It's kind of representing the fact that relationships have broken down somewhat, isn't it? That we sometimes take things for granted that we shouldn't do, that we haven't got enough contingencies in place for this. And also more people should be working from home, really. Do you know what I mean? More people should be working from home, and more people should be speaking together as families. More people should be spending time together, quality time, and people should be spending more time on their own, reflecting and spending time with themselves, looking after themselves as well. Do you know what I mean? And the good thing about being indoors more, although I don't really like it, because I need to get out sometimes, is that I can spend more continuous time working on stuff rather than having a break. Because I find when I break off, it's harder for me to get back into it again. It's better if I get momentum build. Obviously, with not being completely well at the moment, I've got to do I can't do work all the time. I've got to do a bit of work, and then I've got to have lots of rest and playtime till I get fully better. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, if you've got one ailment, that can lower your immune system to mean that you might get more. So you just got to stay positive and deal with what's cropping up in life as it happens, and be prepared as well for the future at the same time. But people don't know, do they, what's going to happen when all this is over? Like, how long is it going to take and everything? But we just have to look at positive things, I try not to look at the figures of cases and stuff. I try not to watch the news and stuff because it just literally is really bad for my mind, It's good when you go out, you're able to go out. I mean, when I go out today, I'm like, oh my God, this is like being in film and you're risking your life going out. Do you know what I mean? Because it kind of is, isn't it? It's like you're in a movie and it's like you're being one of the rebels because you're going out. But I mean, I have to go out and get food. But it is kind of like, when you see these films and you're like, which side are you on? Are you this or are you a rebel? It's like, well, I always be a rebel. It's just who I am. And it's kind of like, I need to look and stare fear in the eye. Is that the right words to use? And go out, It is kind of like it's like you're in like some sort of, it really is like you're in sci-fi movie, especially when they've got the tannoys going off all the time. You know what I mean? Because the voice reminds me of some science fiction person. When you go on like when you go on a spaceship and it's like, it's like, oh, and welcome on board, such and such a starship. It's lovely to have you here. To the right is this, to the left is this. While you're on board, please do this and please do that. Do you know what I mean? It's that type of thing. So that's kind of really strange. I think it's all very surreal at the moment, very surreal. But I think, I think there's good things come out of it as well. And we must always focus on good, positive stuff, It's very, very important for our souls, and obviously this was meant to happen for some reason, for lots of reasons. It's obviously trying to teach us something. Will we learn the lesson, individual lessons and a lesson as a whole world, or will we not? Interesting, isn't it? Anyway, we just have to see what happens and remain positive within our own life. Prepare, like I said, for the worst. Expect the best for yourself. Focus on having the best for yourself. Focus on feeling good as possible, enjoying your life as much as possible, enjoying the time at home, chilling out, as much as possible, like working on your stuff you've never even done for years. Stuff around the house that you haven't even done, things you need to tidy up, things you need to chuck away, things you just need to rearrange. Or you might just think, gosh, I've never really spent much time at home. This is great. I'm spending time at home now. This is what I pay for my home. May as well spend some time in it. Do you know what I mean? Because some people use their home like a hotel or caravan. Well, more like a hotel. They're only in it for a short period of time. Do you know what I mean? So, anyway, yes, I'm glad that you're going to live forever, Sam. It's good. And anyway, I'm going to conclude tonight's video. If you've got any comments, queries, or questions, please leave them down below this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon to get notified every time I go live right now, post a video. Don't forget, I am here for you. I am here for you. I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm alive. I'm overall good, even though I've got some slight ailments at the moment. And yeah, life is great, right? We must always think life is good and everything happens for a reason. It'll work out in the end. Anyway, I love you lots. Thank you so much, Sam, my awesome best friend. Love you lots, my awesome best friend. Thank you to whoever else is watching this live stream, because I know there's been someone else watching all the time. They're the quiet one, so lots of love to the quiet one. Whoever you are, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Thanks for the thumbs up. If you want to give me a thumbs up, or the video, should I say, a thumbs up, it really helps the channel. If you've found it helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, I really do appreciate that. And don't forget to embrace your quirky and each other's. Sam, I'm off to explore some new worlds. Hope you are feeling better soon. Catch you later. All right. Have some fun on the new worlds. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to get some rest soon. Anyway, take care. Lots of love to everyone. And embrace your quirky and each other's. I'll see you soon. Bye, Sam. Bye, everyone.